Okay, welcome to the next question. We are going to solve question 21 to question 25. One that says, which of the following trigonometric identities is correct? We have tan A minus B. As said, this is also a test review video. So you can now check it out. We have tan A minus B is equal to tan A minus B. So you have tan A minus B is equal to tan A minus tan B divided by 1 plus tan A times B. And that's correct. So 21 is option B. So the question that says we should evaluate tan 120 degrees. Tan 120 degrees is in which quadrant? Is it the first quadrant, the second quadrant, the third quadrant, the fourth quadrant? I don't really think I explained this in test review video. So I'm not going to send this test review video to check the solution. I'm not going to solve and explain here. So we have tan 120 degrees. Is it the first quadrant, the second quadrant, third quadrant, or fourth quadrant? 120 degrees is between 90 and 180. So it's going to be in the second quadrant. We have A, C, T, and S. So that means cos is supposed to be here, tan is supposed to be here, and sin is supposed to be here. But since tan is not sitting as tan, that means tan is negative here. In this quadrant, theta is equal to 180 minus theta. So the theta that I'm looking for is going to equal to 180 minus 120. 180 minus 120 is equal to 60. So your theta here is equal to 60. So what you are looking for is the negative, because tan is negative here, the negative of tan 60 degrees. Tan 60 degrees is the same thing as root 3. But don't forget your negative. So we have tan 120 degrees is equal to minus root 3. And minus root 3 is option D. So in question 23, we say we should solve the inequalities x minus 2 divided by x squared minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. Okay. Let's we have x minus 2 divided by x squared minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. Now what you're going to do in this question is to first of all analyze the turning point. As I said, you have your real number line full of all the numbers that you can ever think of, all the real numbers you can ever think of. So first of all, think what are the turning not x squared minus 2, x minus 2. You have to find the turning point that would make any sign change, any sudden sign change. So if you look at it, you have first of all, there will be a change when x is equal to 2. There will be a change when x equals plus 1, and there will be a change when x equals to minus 1. Basically, just carry the numerator equal to 0. Carry the numerator equal to 0. So if you put it at 0, you have x equals to 2. If you put it at 0, you have x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. You have x squared is equal to 1. You have x equal to plus or minus 1. So that is basically how you get your 3 turning points. So if you arrange them in order of, I think, increasing values, you have minus 1 here, you have plus 1, and you have plus 2. Obviously, there will be a space. There will be more space here than here, but this is just for you to analyze your points. So first of all, you have when x is less than minus 1, x is less than minus 1, then you now have when x is between minus 1 and plus 1, that is minus 1 is less than x is less than plus 1. Then you also now have between plus 1 and plus 2, that is 1 is less than x less than 2. Then finally you have between x and positive infinity, that is x is greater than 2. So these are our turning points. Remember that I should.
So these are your critical points. What are your determinants? Your determinants, first of all, x minus 2, then x plus 1, then x minus 1. So when x is less than minus 1, x minus 2 is going to be less than minus 3. So that is negative. When x is less than minus 1, x plus 1 is going to be less than 0. So that is negative also. Less than 0 is negative. When x is less than minus 1, x minus 1 is going to be less than 2. So that is, less than minus 2. So that is negative also. When x is between minus 1 and plus 1, x minus 2 will be between minus 3 and minus 1. So that is still going to be negative. When x is between minus 1 and plus 1, x plus 1 is going to be between 0 and plus 2. So that's positive. When x is between minus 1 and plus 1, x minus 1 is going to be between minus 2 and 0. So that is negative. When x is between plus 1 and plus 2, x minus 2 is going to be between minus 1 and 0. So that is negative. When x is between plus 1 and plus 2, x plus 1 is going to be between 2 and 3. So that is also positive. When x is between plus 1 and plus 2, x minus 1 is going to be between 0 and 1, so that's positive. When x is greater than 2, x minus 2 is going to be greater than 0, so that's positive. When x is greater than 2, x plus 1 is going to be greater than 3, so that's positive. When x is greater than 2, x minus 1 is going to be greater than 1, so that's also positive. Okay, their product will be here. Let's call this product. Minus times minus times minus, that is minus. Because minus times minus is positive, positive and minus is negative. Minus times positive times minus is going to be positive. Because minus times positive is negative, negative times negative is positive. Minus times plus 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 times plus is going to be negative. Because minus times plus is negative and minus times plus negative. Positive times positive times positive is going to be positive. Because plus times plus is plus and plus times plus is plus. So you have minus, plus, minus, plus. They say we should find when it is greater than or equal to 0. Now, so we're looking for it when it is positive, because greater than 0 is going to be positive. And when it's positive, this set and this set. And this set corresponds to this, and this one corresponds to, no, not this. This one corresponds to this. That means your value of x is going to be between minus 1 and plus 1. And also when x is greater than 2. Now this is one way of writing. The second way of writing it, which is the way that they wrote inside the option. Let me clean this. The second way of writing it, which is the way they wrote inside the option, is you first of all pick, you say greater than or equal to. So you have square bracket minus 1, comma 1, square bracket close, union, square bracket again, 2, comma, positive infinity, because it is between minus 1 and 1, and between, sorry, this is supposed to be circle bracket, and between 2 and positive infinity. So that positive infinity is not included because you cannot really get to positive infinity. Now, I just want to tell you something, that just because of this, the denominator that is here, just because of the denominator that is here, part of this set will be removed. That is, when x is plus 1 here, this is undefined. When x is minus 1 here, this is undefined. So in this your set, you are not supposed to include plus 1, nor are you supposed to include minus 1. I know that this is part of the solution because I'm using square bracket, but you're not supposed to include plus 1 and minus 1. So you have to change this square bracket to circle bracket. That is, if you are using that square bracket, this solution here will be undefined and it will not be greater, it will not be equal or greater than, it will not be a number. So you're not supposed to include plus 1 or minus 1. That's why you change this answer to square bracket. And if you check the option, that is option B. The same option, that one with square bracket, also there as option D, but it's actually wrong because in the solution you're not supposed to include plus 1, nor are you supposed to include minus 1. So question 23, B. Question 24 says, how many subsets of C equal to A, B, C, D contain at least one element? Now, the subset of C are all the sets that are less than or equal to C. Let me put it like that. Let's denote a set as A. A is the set that contains all the subsets of C. If all the elements of, let's say X, all the elements of A are also elements of C. That's all the subsets in A. Let's say that is empty set, the set that contains only A, the set that contains only B, so small letter A, the set that contains only A, the set that contains only B, the set that contains only C. All these sets in A are all subsets of, sorry, not these are all subsets. All the sets that are inside A are all subsets of C. So now, what are the sets that are inside A? We have the empty sets, we have the set that contains only A, set that contains only B, set that contains only C, set that contains only D. Then we have picked 1, 1, 1. We have to now pick, group them in twos. We have the set that contains AB, set that contains AC, AD. Now, there's a simpler way of doing this, and that is cardinality. The cardinality of A would equal to 2 to the power of how many numbers are inside C. So that's the cardinality of A is simply just 2 to the power of the cardinality of C. And the cardinality of C is 4 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 digits inside C. So this is equal to 2 to the power of 4, which is equal to 16. But 16 is not the answer because the question asks us how many subsets of C contain at least one element. This empty set does not contain any element, it contains 0 element. So you have to minus 1 from this answer and you get 15. And that's option B. So question 24, the answer is option B. Question 25 says we should expand x minus half to the power of 6. That is x minus a half to the power of 6. Okay. They say in ascending powers of x. So first of all, just let's cancel some options. Okay, the ascending powers of x. Option A is ascending. Option B is descending. Option C and D, they are both ascending. But which of them would be the correct one between A, C, and D? Now I'm not really in the mood to start expanding this. So I'm just going to cancel out some options and decide what the final answer would be. Now for the first digit will be, since ascending, the first digit will be minus half to the power of 6, and the last digit will be x to the power of 6. Minus half to the power of 6 is going to be plus 1 over 2 to the power of 6 is 64. That is plus 1 over 64 all the way down to x power 6. So all the options correspond to that. The second thing to note is since minus is here, they will alternate between minus and plus, minus and plus, minus and plus. So if we have plus here, the next value will have a negative number. The next one will have a positive. The next one will have negative. Let's cancel some options. Let me put here option A, B, C, D, and E. So we already determined that option B is wrong because it's descending. So let's cancel some options. It should alternate between plus and minus, plus and minus. So option D does not alternate. So option D is wrong. Option D is plus plus minus plus, so it does not alternate. So that one is going to be wrong. The next one that we can cancel out is, okay, that is basically all. The rest of them alternate. So the next thing I want to state out there is, since we have power of 6 here, the next term, that is after 1 over 64, the next term will be 6 times minus 1 over 64, sorry, 1 over 2, minus 1 over 2 to the power of 5 times x. So 1 over 2 to the power, minus 1 over 2 to the power of 5 is minus 1 over 32 times 6 times x. So this is equal to minus 3 over 16x. So if you check the options, you have minus 3 over 16x as option A. We have plus 3 over 16x. Okay, option D is cancelled already. And option C, we have minus 6 over 16. So option C is wrong. So the options that we have left is A and E. So let's look at what else you can cancel out in between option A and E, because option A is none of the above. So if you can find a discontinuity between option A, then we can just determine that option A is wrong and option E, which is none of the above, is going to be the correct answer. Another alternative to solving like this, you can simply just use Pascal's method and determine the whole polynomial. But I don't really want to do that right now. So if you look at the next option, the next number after 3 minus 3x over 16 should have a value of, that is the first one, this one was 6 combination 1, the next one will be 6 combination 2, which is 6 factorial divided by 4 factorial 2 factorial, which is 6 times 5 divided by 2, which will be 15. So we have 15 times 1 over 2 to the power minus 1 over 2 to the power of 4 times x squared. So that is 15 times 1 over 16 times x squared. So we have 15x squared over 8. No, option A is supposed to be 15x squared over 16, not over 8. So option A is wrong. So the option that's correct is option E, which is none of the above. So the answer for option 25 is E, none of the above. You can click the picture that I'm going to put on my hand when I'm editing to move on to the next solution video.